That's
She,
why she
in
brought
her
the Daisy.
eyes, something's off.
She looked like a soldier.
Something's off with her.
No, it's good.
Joe Rogan didn't hold back. On his latest podcast episode, he tore into Bella Ramsey after news broke that HBO had officially removed her from The Last of Us. And it wasn't because of scheduling conflicts or creative differences. It was because of the massive wave of fan backlash that had been building for months, finally forcing the network to make a move. Rogan, known for calling it exactly how he sees it, roasted Bella for what he called a self-inflicted career crash, pointing out how her arrogance, attitude, and refusal to listen to criticism turned what should have been a career-defining role into a PR disaster.
I'm sorry. That was acting. That's what that was. I don't really care what happens with this movie. I really hope her career is pretty much over. I'd be thrilled to see that. I can't imagine. I mean, Chris.
When Bella Ramsey was cast, and here's the thing, Joe wasn't just speaking his mind. He was voicing what millions of fans had been saying online for months. The outrage over Bella's casting, her on-screen performance, and her public interviews didn't come out of nowhere. It was a slow burn that eventually erupted into something HBO could no longer ignore. In Rogan's words, she talked herself out of the biggest gig of her life. The entertainment world woke up to headlines that seemed almost unthinkable a year ago. Bella Ramsey removed from The Last of Us. The show had been one of HBO's most high-profile adaptations, and Bella had been positioned as its breakout star. But behind the scenes, things were crumbling. The network had been receiving constant negative feedback about her portrayal of Ellie. While critics gave polite, measured reviews, fans were more direct, blasting her acting as wooden, her delivery as flat, and her interpretation of the character as completely disconnected from the source material. Forums, social media threads, and YouTube breakdowns were filled with detailed comparisons between Bella's performance and the Ellie fans had fallen in love with from the game, right?
Had to not like each other for a bit.
You had to not like me, which
True.
came easy.
Yes, maybe we can prop it open with something and you can slide.
Whoa!
Oh my god, what?
Is it getting bigger?
Stop it.
No, seriously, what's with that?
It's fine, Joel.
Does it hurt?
Joel, please, you're making me self-conscious.
I'm sorry, it's just a little bit startling.
Normal head, Joel. Can we just get back to the door things?
It's planetary.
Leave it.
It's gonna have its own area code soon.
4 months, HBO ignored it, hoping the controversy would fade, but it didn't. Each new episode seemed to reignite the criticism, and Bella didn't help herself with her interviews. Rather than acknowledging fans' concerns, she dismissed them as people who just don't get it, painting herself as a misunderstood genius that only poured gasoline on the fire. By the time season 2 wrapped filming, HBO executives were already discussing replacing her. Longtime fans were tuning out, merch sales had dipped, social media engagement was down, and in the entertainment industry, numbers talk. When Rogan heard the news, it was like handing him the perfect setup for a takedown. On his podcast, he went in on Bella's handling of the entire situation, saying it was a masterclass in how not to respond to criticism. He mocked her tendency to get defensive anytime fans offered feedback, pointing out that in today's media landscape, connecting with your audience is just as important as the performance itself. If the people who watch the show think you're doing it wrong, Rogan said, you don't double down and tell them they're wrong. You figure out why they feel that way.
Show is finally speaking out about its failure. The Last of Us creator Craig Mazin admits season 2 was a finale, drew over 50% less than the finale of season 1. You lost
your impression at all, or is it pretty much the same?
Well, the noise is the same. I've not got any more noises. The new infected are pretty terrifying. They're so smart, and they haven't really got a noise. That's the whole point of them. They're silent and terrifying.
Ooh, give us a little silent and terrifying.
Rogan also poked fun at the irony of Bella trying to position herself as untouchable when The Last of Us was essentially her biggest role to date. This wasn't some tiny indie project. This was HBO pouring millions into a franchise people have loved for a decade, he said. You can't just roll in, ignore the fan base, and expect it to work out. The backlash Rogan was referring to had been building since Bella's very first appearance in the show. Many fans felt she didn't physically or emotionally capture Ellie, with some even accusing HBO of deliberately ignoring casting options that would have been a closer fit. Clips from the game were compared side by side with Bella's scenes, highlighting differences in energy, delivery, and emotional range. YouTube commentary channels dedicated entire videos to critiquing her performance. They broke down specific moments and explained why the portrayal didn't land. But the real tipping point came when Bella openly mocked fans who said they preferred the original Ellie from the games. She gave interviews where she claimed she never played the games and didn't feel the need to, which alienated an even bigger chunk of the audience. In Rogan's word, that's like playing Spider-Man but never picking up a comic book. It's insane.
Like most people, I liked the first season. I thought they did a great job. Season 2, I was skeptical on them not recasting Ellie and keeping Bella Ramsey as Ellie because it's supposed to take place 5 years into the future, but obviously Bella Ramsey in real life was not going to age that much in, the 2 years it took between seasons. So in the show, Ellie still looks exactly the same, but is supposed to be 5 years older. Also, Ellie still acts exactly the same. For some reason, they made the decision for The Last of Us Season 2 to make Ellie dumb, to the point where she even says that she's stupid.
Eventually, HBO couldn't ignore the numbers anymore. Viewership for the show's second season had dropped by nearly a third compared to its premiere season. Merchandise sales tied to Bella's character were underperforming, and social media sentiment was tanking, with every post about the show flooded by comments from angry fans demanding a recast. The final straw, according to insiders, came after a private test screening of a major Season 2 episode. Feedback cards from the audience were overwhelmingly negative when it came to Bella's performance, with words like flat, miscast, and annoying appearing over and over. Within weeks, HBO executives held a closed-door meeting to decide her fate. The verdict: she was out. And while they tried to frame it in official press releases as a creative direction shift, the truth was clear. The fans had won. Rogan didn't mince words about the decision. Look, if you lose the fans, you lose the job, he said bluntly. You can call it backlash, you can call it bullying, whatever you want. At the end of the day, it's show business. And the business side doesn't care about your feelings. He roasted Bella for acting as if she was untouchable, saying she walked into the biggest role of her life and treated it like she was doing HBO a favor. He pointed out how much of the backlash could have been avoided if she had shown humility, engaged with the fan base, and actually studied the source material. Rogan wrapped it up with one final jab. The Last of Us is going to keep going without her, and people will probably like it more. That's the part nobody wants to say out loud. But it's true. The fallout from Bella's removal has been bigger than just one show. Industry insiders are now wondering if this could impact her chances at landing future big-budget projects. In a world where fan engagement can make or break a franchise, having your name associated with a massive backlash isn't exactly a good look. Casting directors are reportedly weighing whether she's worth the risk. The fear isn't just about her performance, it's about the PR baggage she now carries. Once you're known for alienating fans, studios start to wonder if they want to gamble on your name. When the news broke, social media lit up. Some celebrated her removal as a victory for fans' voices, while others felt bad for her personally. Commentary videos dissecting her interviews racked up millions of views. It was clear the conversation wasn't just about one role. It had become a case study in how quickly things can turn in the age of social media. For Bella, the road ahead is uncertain. She could take time away from the spotlight, work on smaller projects, and rebuild her reputation. Or she could double down and try to frame herself as a victim of toxic fandom. The problem is, Rogan and many others believe the second option would only cement her as someone who can't handle the realities of the industry. HBO, meanwhile, is moving full steam ahead with a new actress in the role. Early leaks from set insiders suggest the replacement has already won over much of the crew, and crucially, the gaming fan base. If Season 3 performs better without Bella, it will be the ultimate confirmation that HBO made the right call.